Welcome everyone in the roundtable discussion with the topic of technology, change-making, and faith-based organization. So my name is Ayenda. I'm Venture and Fellowship Team in Ashoka, and I'll be moderating this session for the next 30 minutes. I hope you all enjoy the plenary session before and excited to be here to continue learning in this discussion. Since this is the Heroes Day in Indonesia, so we are lucky to have three awesome panelists considered as the heroes in the issues of peace and tolerance. Firstly, we have Mas Helmi as the Program Director at Ma'arif Institute. Ma'arif Institute itself is a leading NGO and think tank for pluralism, tolerance, and preventing or countering violence extremism issue in Indonesia since 2003 through promoting the value of Islam, Indonesia, and also humanity. He has been conducting a Preventing Violence Extremism or PVE project, especially on how to build a school-based community resilience since 2010 until now. He involved project intervention with some of the stakeholders like teachers, students, principal, and school supervisors. Hi, Mas Helmi. Great to be here.
Ryan. Yeah,
okay,
thanks
as the second panelist, we have passionate young people here, Aurelia Jessica. She is 16 years old and the founder of B1 in Diversity. At the age of 13, Jessica launched B1 in Diversity or BOID, a movement to foster tolerance, acceptance, and diversity by engaging young people of different backgrounds through casual and fun activities. Starting with her own school in Surabaya, Jessica and her team strive to create a more inclusive and tolerant society where change making can flourish for the good of all. Thanks, Jessica, for coming here. And then last but not least, we have Kang Irfan Amali here. Kang Irfan is the co-founder and director of Peace Generations Indonesia, organization that works on peace education that focus on development training, media development, campaign, and also activate peace content. Through the use of creative and playful media, Peace Generation has instructed more than 30,000 students in Southeast Asia, including in Indonesia, in the principle of peace. He has more than 15 years experience in publishing book and creative media, including 12 peace modules. Irfan received a lot of recognitions and awarded, including Ashoka Fellows in 2017. All right, so without any further ado, let's get started. And for all of the participants, the audience here, who want to ask any question or share any thoughts, please feel free to use the chat box and we will try to address some of the question in the end of the session. Okay, so we all know that human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. But in fact, there are still a lot of marginalization, discrimination, hatred, violence practice happened around us because of the different race, ethnicity, religion, belief, sexual orientation, and gender identity. And it happened everywhere, not only in Indonesia, but globally. So our discussion here will be focusing on understanding the issue and how technology, change-making, and faith-based organization can play a role to address that issue. Let's get started by understanding more about the issue happening around peace and tolerance, and what's actually the root cause we need to tackle. So first question for Kang Irfan, I want to address this question. What do you think the exact problems we are all encountering right now, and how bad the consequence actually for us and the society? Maybe this is from the context of Indonesia, or like from your experience on developing peace generation.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Ayen. So if we are talking about the problem, there are three layers of the problem. The top one is the violent extremism, which is the action, violent action. And the number is not big, but the impact is big. Imagine we have numbers of terrorist attack. It's not big numbers, but the impact is very huge. And the second layer is radicalism. Radicalism is something to do with the mind. So it's not a physically attack, but it's in the mind. But radicalism is one step before the terrorism. And the number is bigger. And the bottom layer is about the intolerance. Intolerance is maybe you don't want to have a friend with other people from other religion, like what Aurelia addressed in the schools like this. It's the intolerance. So actually, peace generation is working in the bottom, in preventing, in how to prevent since the potential violence became bigger. So we prevent from the seed. So that's why we address it using the education approach. Because once become the radicals and even further become terrorism, it's the treatment will be higher, will be more complex, and will be require more effort. So peace generation is working on the bottom layer, like we address about the intolerance, the fanatism, the lack of empathy, and the fanatism. So, and if we are talking about this issue, it's not merely about the religion, because some people feel being addressed because I'm from certain religion. If you are talking about intolerance, you are addressing my religion. No. So this is nothing to do only with the religion. You will find this issue in the sports, in the gangsters, in any field of life. So this is very wide issues. So it is not addressing any religion or any beliefs.
That's right. Agree with you. That is a very wide range of issues, not only also in Indonesia, but also happening globally, yeah, Kang Irfan. So
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna continue the discussion about the bottom layer on how the society is tend to intolerance with the difference. So I'm going to ask Jessica. I think also interesting to hear Jessica as the young people who takes an action to tackle this issue from early age. So you founded POID about 3 years ago, right, Jessica? So can you share why did you start POID and what inspired you to create that movement?
Yeah, so there's one point of experience that made me push to act. And in my childhood, I grew in an environment which does not have a strong tolerance value, especially for the youngsters' social life in my school. So that experience makes me feel uncomfortable with the social life in there, especially for the youngster between the youngster in the school. This discomfort carried within me till I start the junior high school. From that moment, I try to encourage myself to not be silent anymore about that issues and to choose to act rather than waiting for someone else to act. And sometimes I ask myself like, if I choose to be silent and wait for other people to act, how long do I have to wait for the changes to happen? That question always stuck in my head, and finally, because the support and the help from my teacher, my friends, my parents, and my family, and also there's many other people that already helped me a lot. I managed to build a small community to help to fight about these issues. And from this community, I really hope to inspire every youngster, especially start to my friends in my school, and hopefully it can spread into the society. And for me, I think perspective have an important role in these issues. So I believe that every young generation, not only me, I believe that there's more than one people, or there's more, not only me, who only felt the same thing or happened the same thing to them. And I believe that they also have a potential to do something about it or to act about it. So I believe that every young generation can be a change maker or can be a peace builder in the society.
Beautifully said, Jessica. Agree with you. I think this is a noticeable issue for everyone, but the key here is really about the perspective and how do we take an action toward that? Either we want to wait, ignore, or we start to create change, like what you did. So, congratulations for your movement. And then I think after hearing from Kang Irfan and Jessica, we can see how complex and how big the issue is, right? So I want to move to Mas Helmi to give us more perspective around who are actually in this ecosystem, Mas Helmi, and who are the key stakeholders that we need to influence to in the peace building effort, like what we have been doing so far.
Thank you, Mbak Ayan. Uh, Actually, if we talk about the peace builder effort and who key player in this issue, I think that's a lot actor in this issue, yeah. But regarding with our experience, actually based on my Institute experience that you mentioned before, that's our experience from 2010 until now. Actually, we focus on what we call school-based community resilience. We intervene every single actors in school, such school as a community, such as student, teachers, school supervisors, principals, and also parents. Um, I think that school is a strategic community to promoting peace and build what we call a tolerance society. In school, we not only teach how to peace must be built, but also we can experience peace and tolerance at the same time. I think that school is one of the key player in the peace building effort in Indonesia. And if we intervene the school, we investing the future, I guess.
Right, right. Agree with you. I think we need to really invest on education. It's the really start of everything, yeah, Mas Helmi.
Yep, sure.
Okay, so I think from three panelists coming from in this call are coming from three different organizations, but actually all of us are leading to the same vision to create more peaceful world where the society are more tolerant, and I think even more we want to create the world where everyone a peace builder. So I think myself and the audience here want to learn from the organization perspective on how's your strategy to make it happen. So I want to hear from Kang Irfan first. What is your organization strategy to promote peace and like more tolerant society that you have mentioned before in the bottom, like the pyramid?
Yeah. How do we do differently in addressing this work? Because our audience are mostly millennials and Z generation, so we have to use their language. So actually, basically, peace generation has 12 basic value of peace. So this is our formula. So from beginning, since 13 years ago, we started from this formula using the very simple modules, books, comics like that. But a long time we are evolving to adjusting to our audience. And if we see our audience who are the millennials and Z generation, they are the player generation. So they are learning while they are playing. So that's why we incorporate many tools like gamification and game-based learning. So when you teach them, actually they don't want to hear you. They don't like the preaching, or they don't like even learning, but they like playing. But how to combine learning with playing? So we are in the last 3 or 5 years. So we always using the games as a tools. And for example, we invite many people using the games, and it can attract more audience, because sometimes if we teach peace, only peace people come and want to learn. But if you make it like playing, so more people in even in the our outs not from the inner circle, they come, they are attracted to join. So we use like board game, tabletop game, so we can use it without requiring any classes or schools. Even if you have one table in the cafe, you have one board game, and only you have three people, you do that. So yes, we do teaching and learning in the schools in the formal ways, but also now we are even in the schools we are incorporating the gamification of learning. How to
Mm.
incorporate the learning or gamification in the school. So we found that we have to keep adjusting the way we deliver our values, unless or yeah, it will be very hard to spread the value of peace and tolerance, and we always find that sometimes we like echo chamber, so we keep echoing our this value to people who already peaceful like that. So the challenge is how we reach the more people, because like the intolerance and radicalism, they run very fast. They run very fast. So we have to run as fast or faster than them, like that.
Wow, amazing. We need to run faster than the hoax and misinformation and intolerance content. Agree with
Yes,
that.
yeah, yes,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
move to Mas Helmi. What is your and your organization strategy, Mas Helmi, to tackle this issue?
Yeah, actually, Mbak Ayan, based on our concept, mostly our project is based on school, what we call is school-based community resilience. So mostly our program or project is follow what the actors in school needed. For example, we have a program for a student. In annually, we creating what we call is Jambore, that we gathering student across Indonesia, 100, but actually in every annually program we have 1,000 applicant, but we only approve that 100 participant in this Jambore, what we call this student gathering. Yeah, we trust that tolerance is not only not enough to teaching. We must experiencing. So with student gathering, that they can know each other, not only about religious diversity, but also that's what we call their background, such as, yeah, Indonesia is very big island, yeah, in the west and also east. They can know each other, not only in student. We also have a project for teachers to accompany the teachers with supplement book to strengthening their skill to experiencing about the tolerance. I think that's technology as a tool. Sorry. So yeah. So yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I think agree with you that we need to
Hello.
experience tolerance, not only teach the tolerance self. Hello, Mas Helmi, can you hear me? Let's move on to Jessica. I want to hear from Jessica as well. What's your strategy, NPOID strategy to tackle this issue? Jess.
Yes, I think our strategy is to uplifting the movement in the society and to build wide connection into every individual people. And we are focusing more to the young generation around in the society. So we are doing it by through a cooperation tie between diverse communities around and to installing value of trust to each other and to spread love and kindness and togetherness. And it's important that to realize that we are as the social creature, we are as human, which is as social creatures. We cannot live separately or individually, but it is important to live togetherness and to aware that it is important to live together, not as an individual. So we are here focusing to encourage people to trust, to give the trust to each other, and to spread love and kindness and togetherness to each other, especially for the young generation here.
Got it. I remember when I was in Surabaya in have had an activity with you. It was very fun when we teach and we experience tolerance together in the very fun activities. So I think that's also one of the strategy that we need to do. And when we are talking about technology, so we move to the technology section when we reflect on where we are right now with the massive and advanced use of technology. It's like a two-sided coin with both negative and positive impacts. When technology is used for bad way, it might lead to the segregation and unstoppable misinformation, like what Kang Irfan said. But I think there's also a potential or the good side of technology. So I wanna hear from Kang Irfan and Mas Helmi, how do you see technology play a role in this issue? I know Peace Generation and Ma'arif are using quite a range of technology as one of the tools or strategy to tackle this issue. So Kang Irfan, do you want to take this first?
Yeah, actually, I would be thankful to COVID that forced us to be more aware about the strength of the technology. If if there is no COVID, maybe we our our phase of learning will be very slow. But now, so we used to make the pesantren Ramadan. So every Ramadan we make the pesantren kilat. Like during the Ramadan in Indonesia, we have pesantren kilat, and we always make it in like 15 or 20 cities in Indonesia. 3 days or 5 days, even in some areas. The pesantren kilat includes also Christian friends and from other religions friends join the pesantren kilat. So when COVID, so we thought how we can make it, but we don't have any choices, and the situation forced us to think creatively and think harder. And we found that there is many ways, and we made it. And everyone say, I never imagined that we can make it online. And the experience is actually it's not the same, but still give the impact. So everybody and we are forced to make the modules become fit to the platform. And we think harder, we think creatively to make it align with the platform. So we adjust the content to the platform. And we found very amazing, and everybody is happy, and we found it's effective. And also for the first time for Peace Generation, we can make gathering regularly with all the agent office all over Indonesia. We used to make it once a year.
Wow.
Because we always think we have to make it in some place and with the very high cost of flight and everything. But
Right.
now we can make it every month. So even because of the technology, because of the situation force us to use the technology properly, and maybe God want to show us that technology can serve our mission. So now we go further with the technology, and now we are converting and combining the board game, offline board game with the online board games. And also we organize our modules become online learning more seriously. And so now also we are building the platform for the organizing the work and everything. So even Peace Generation is planning to make officeless, so we will not an office like Ashoka. Yeah, so everybody can work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
interesting.
I think there is beyond thinking that we can use technology much better now.
Agree with you. Okay, I want to hear from Mas Helmi. I'm conscious about the time. We are 5 minutes before the end. Okay, go ahead.
I'm apologize about that the week of network in my office. I don't know, but actually I agree with Kang Irfan Amali that because right now we have a project across Indonesia to give online training to 1,200 lectures across Indonesia, across the university in Indonesia, and also 3,600 teachers across Indonesia to join our online course about digital literacy. I can imagine if this event do before the pandemic. I think that most of the activity will be offline activity. And can you imagine? I'm going to traveling across Indonesia. That's very yeah, very tired, yeah, to traveling across Indonesia. But with the technology, we can reach this impact uh, um, uh, across Indonesia, yeah, such as 1,200 teachers, sorry, lectures come join with this program, uh, and we didn't need much time, ya, to reach every lectures to join this training, ya. This is yeah, blessing in disguise, ya.
That's right.
In the middle of pandemic situation, ya.
There is always a silver lining in the dark cloud, yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. I think we still have 3 minutes. I want to hear from Jessica about. I think this is the last question to wrap up the discussions, and this is for everyone. And I want to start with Jessica first. What was as the audience, as the listener here, as a society, what do we can do? What can we do to join an effort and together with all of us here to make our society more tolerant and become a peace builder? So maybe from the perspective of young change maker like Jessica, what do you think we can do?
Yeah, so the first thing that we need to know that we need to trust ourselves that uh, ourselves is a we are a good human and we have potential to make any changes or contribute at any changes in the society. We maybe may think that we are an ordinary people that don't have enough power or will not give a big contribution for future changes or maybe nowadays changes. But the fact is that every people, without seeing their economic or social culture background, have their own power and different power to each other, and that makes human what makes human unique. And human created with their uniqueness and their own power to develop it by themselves to make any changes, any positive changes in the society nowadays or in the future. So we all can make changes by only doing by small things, by spreading love and kindness to every people around us or near us. Maybe we can start with our family or with our friends or maybe with our neighbors and treat them like our own sibling. So from here we can feel the tolerance and also the togetherness as a one human or a social creature here.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Jessica. Um, we see, I think there are two questions from the audience here. I want to address one question. I think it will be best for Kang Irfan to answer. So the question is from Nicole. Yes, I think from Nicole. Let me check. Yes, from Nicole. So the questions is, how do I incorporate faith-based capacity building in my youth organization without having to seem like I am promoting one religion or faith versus another religion? Because I think his organization is into education tech. What do you think, Kang Irfan?
Yeah, each generation from the beginning, we incorporate the faith-based and religion. In the first module, we incorporate Islamic values because we are addressing the Muslim community. When we address the Christian community, we use the Christian modules. We don't have the neutral ones. Why? Because when you deliver something, a content based on audience values, it will be more related, more connected with your audience. So I think the belief or the culture, it will be more related to the audience rather than the neutral one, or universal one. So I think um, I don't know what is the context from the question, but if we can celebrate the diversity, for example, rather than you use the universal one to address everyone, actually it's not will not be related to anyone. But if you address using certain religion that maybe your member of organization embrace this faith, it will be more it will be more related to them. And how do we that? We work with the people from that religion. So if we use the Islamic values, we work with the authoritative Muslim, and with Christian, and now we are publishing the Buddhist. So we work with them. So it is more effort to make it, because we have to address one by one, but it will be more effective. So your audience will be they will have like ownership. Yes, you are talking to me because you are you recognize my belief, like that, rather than because they are multi-faith, many faith, and you just make it universal or neutral. Actually, it will not address anyone. So yeah, my suggestion is you have to work with them, not work for them. So I don't know how many faith you have in your organization, but at least you can address one by one. It's not totally everything in the one time, but you can do that. So this generation, now we have 3 or 4 faith-based modules, and we keep working for adding new one, adding new one, adding new one.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Kang Irfan. I hope it answer your question, Nicole. Thanks for asking the question. Very great insight as well from Kang Irfan. All right, I think it's time to wrap up. I know the time is flying so fast. So thank you so much for all of the panelists and also the audience here. I think one of the quote that I want to say here is the quote from Simon Sinek from his book. I think he mentioned that the goal is not simply for us to cross the finish line, but to see how many people around us we can inspire to run together with us to really tackle this issue. So I hope that can be a wrap up for this session, and I believe this is the end of our short discussion, but I hope our connection won't stop here. So really hope that we can connect again later on. And I believe the panelists here are welcome to also, ask to receive any question from all of the audience here. Again, very happy to be here with all of you listening.